My sister promised to co-parent my kids. If anything happened to me, then refused to watch them for one weekend, but posted vacation photos with my future godchildren. I asked my sister to watch my kids for one weekend, just 2 nights. Friday to Sunday. I hadn't slept through the night in 3 years, not since Leo was born, and my therapist said, "You're running on fumes. Go, breathe." So I called Mara, my big sister, my person, the one who held my hand during labor, who stayed up with me when I sobbed over diaper blowouts at 3 a.m., who promised, swore, at my wedding, "If anything ever happens to you, I'll raise them like they're mine." She'd even cried saying it. So when I asked, "Can you take Leo and Nia this weekend? Just while I go to that cabin up north?" I expected a yes, maybe even an eye roll, and finally, "You deserve it." Instead, she sighed like I'd asked her to move furniture. "Jess, I can't. I've got plans." "Plans?" I repeated. "Like what?" "Just stuff. You know how it is." I didn't push, didn't beg. I just said, okay, hung up, and canceled my trip, again. But that night, as I rocked Leo back to sleep after a nightmare, my phone buzzed. A notification from Instagram. Mara had posted a photo. Her, grinning on a beach I'd never seen, arms wrapped around 2 toddlers wearing matching sun hats. The caption? "So grateful for these 2. Can't wait to be their godmom forever. Their future godchildren, dark blessed." The kids weren't mine, but the hats were. I'd bought those exact sun hats last summer, bright yellow with little blue whales. I'd sent Mara photos of Leo and Nia wearing them, laughing in our backyard sprinkler. She'd commented, "Adorable. Save me 2 for when I babysit." I stared at the screen until my vision blurred. She wouldn't watch them for one weekend, but she was posing with strangers' kids as her future godchildren? I called her, voice shaking. "Who are those kids, Mara?" "Oh, friends' twins," she said lightly. "Cute, right? You told me you couldn't watch mine because you had plans." "I did, we're at the coast." "So you drove 3 hours to babysit someone else's kids, but couldn't drive 10 minutes to mine?" Silence. Then defensive. "It's not the same. They're easy. Yours are a lot." "A lot?" "Jess, don't make this weird. You know I love them. But you also know how high energy they are. I'm not built for that 24/7. "But you promised," I whispered. "At my wedding, you said if anything happened to me, you'd raise them." "That was symbolic," she said quickly. "Not literal. Symbolic. Like love is a decoration. Like promises are confetti." I hung up. The next morning, I found Nia drawing at the kitchen table. "What's that bug?" "My family," she said proudly. 3 stick figures, me, Leo, and a tall one with long hair labeled Auntie Mara. "She's coming to my birthday, right?" I didn't know what to say. Because how do you explain to a 5-year-old that the woman who swore to protect her won't even stay for a weekend? That night, I dug out my wedding video, rewound to Mara's toast, watched her wipe tears as she said, "I'd give my life for those kids." Now, she wouldn't give 2 days. And the worst part? I wasn't angry. I was grieving. Because the sister I thought I had, the one who'd step in without hesitation, never really existed. She was just a performance for the camera. And my children were the audience. 2 weeks later, Mara showed up unannounced with cupcakes and a too bright smile. "Let's pretend that never happened," she said, ruffling Leo's hair. But as she hugged me, I saw it. The new tattoo on her wrist. 2 tiny footprints, dated June 12th. The day she refused to watch them. And beneath it, in delicate script, always. Always what? I wanted to ask. Always available for photos? Always ready to play auntie when it's convenient? But I just smiled back and started making a list of people who'd actually show up. Mara stayed for an hour that day, baking cookies with Nia, letting Leo help wash her car, laughing like nothing was wrong. She even offered to take them to the park next weekend. I said yes. Not because I trusted her, but because my kids' faces lit up when she said it. That night, after they were asleep, I sat at the kitchen table with a notebook. At the top, I wrote, "People who will actually show up." Under it, I listed 3 names. Elena, my neighbor, retired teacher. Priya, my best friend since college. Ms. Rivera, Nia's piano teacher, who once stayed with Leo during a fever so I could finish a work call. Mara's name didn't make the list, not out of spite, but because reliability isn't about love, it's about action. And Mara's action said one thing: "I'll love you when it's easy, when it's photogenic, when it costs me nothing." The next weekend came. Mara texted Friday morning. "So sorry. Got invited on a last-minute girls' trip, rain check. No apology. No offer to reschedule. Just a shrug in sentence form." I didn't reply. Just called Elena. She said, "Bring them over, we'll build a blanket fort." While my kids played at her house, I scrolled through Mara's Instagram again. Found a post from that girls' trip. Her on a yacht, champagne flute raised, caption, Living my best life. Tractor self-care. Chuck no kids weekend. I screenshotted it. Not to confront her. Just to prove to myself I wasn't imagining it. Later, Nia asked, "Why didn't Auntie Mara come?" "She had other plans," I said gently. "But she loves us." I know she says she does. That night, I updated my notebook. Added a new section, promises versus proof. Under promises, I wrote, "I'd raise them like they're mine. Call me anytime. They're my future godchildren." Under proof, I left it blank, because there was none. Then out of nowhere, Mara called, voice soft, almost shy. "Can we talk?" I met her at our old coffee shop, the one where we used to study for exams, share secrets, cry over breakups. She stirred her latte for a full minute before speaking. "I saw you liked Elena's post." I didn't. "You were tagged in her story. Blanket fort with the kids." "Oh, I miss them," she said, eyes glistening. "I miss us. You've shut me out. I asked you to watch them for 2 nights, Mara. 2 nights. And I said no. But that doesn't mean I don't love them. Love isn't a feeling you post about," I said quietly. "It's showing up when it's hard. When you're tired. When there's no photo op." She looked down. "I'm trying. Trying isn't enough when they're asking for you at bedtime." Silence stretched between us, thick with everything we couldn't fix. Then she reached into her bag and pulled out a small box. "For Nia's birthday. I got it weeks ago. Inside, matching whale sun hats, just like the ones in her beach photo." I took them. Didn't say thank you, because gifts don't erase absence. As I walked home, I passed a playground. Saw a woman chasing after 2 toddlers, hair messy, shirt stained with yogurt, laughing as she scooped one up mid-tantrum. That's what real love looks like. Not curated, not convenient, just present. When I got home, I put the new hats in the donation bin. Then I added one more line to my notebook. Godmother isn't a title, it's a verb. And Mara hadn't done the work. Nia's birthday party was in 2 weeks. Mara RSVP'd yes with a heart emoji. But the morning of, she texted, "Emergency work thing, so sorry." Only this time, I'd already planned for it. Because while she was busy crafting her perfect aunt persona online, I'd quietly built a village of people who showed up, with no audience needed. And when Nia blew out her candles, she didn't ask where Auntie Mara was. She hugged Elena and whispered, "You're my favorite grown-up." Nia's birthday morning dawned bright and warm, the kind of day that feels like a gift itself. She woke up at 6 a.m., bouncing on my bed in her dinosaur pajamas. "Is today the day?" "Yep," I said, ruffling her hair. "Party day." She beamed. Then quieter. "Is Auntie Mara coming?" I'd rehearsed this. "She can't make it, bug. Work emergency." Her face fell for just a second. Then she nodded, like she'd expected it. Okay. No tears. No tantrum. Just a quiet resignation that broke my heart more than any outburst could. Because kids don't need perfect people. They just need consistent ones. And Mara had taught her over and over not to count on her. I'd planned the party small. Backyard, 6 kids, homemade cake, a piñata shaped like a unicorn. Elena brought her famous chocolate cupcakes. Priya set up a craft station with glitter glue and pipe cleaners. Ms. Rivera played Happy Birthday on her keyboard while the kids danced barefoot on the grass. It was messy, loud, perfect. Halfway through, Nia ran up to me, breathless, holding a lopsided clay bracelet. "I made this for Elena." She helped me paint it. I smiled. She'll love it. Later, as the kids chased bubbles, Elena sat beside me on the porch step. She asked me yesterday if I'd come to her school play, she said softly. "And what did you say?" I said, "Only if you save me a front row seat." I looked at her, really looked. At the flower still dusting her sleeve, the smudge of blue paint on her cheek, the way she'd carried Leo on her hip when he got overwhelmed by noise. "You're amazing," I said. She shrugged. "I just show up." Exactly. No grand declarations. No Instagram captions. Just presence. That night, after the last guest left, Nia helped me clean up. As we folded tablecloths, she said, "Elena said I can call her Tia if I want." "Oh yeah?" "Yeah." She said family isn't just who you're born to. It's who shows up. I hugged her tight. She's right. Later, I checked my phone. Mara had posted again. A sunset from her work trip. Caption. "Needed this reset. Ant life. Blessed." I didn't screenshot it. Didn't even feel angry anymore. Just sad. For her. For the version of herself she thought the world wanted to see. The next day she called, "How was the party?" "Great," I said. "Nia loved it." "Did she miss me?" I hesitated. She asked once. But then she got busy making bracelets with Elena. Silence, then quietly, "You've replaced me." "No, Mara. I just stopped waiting for you to become who you said you were." She didn't argue. Just whispered, "I'm still their aunt." "Blood doesn't make an aunt," I said gently. "Showing up does." We hung up. That evening, Nia came to my room holding her notebook, the one where she draws family trees. She pointed to a new page. At the top, she'd written, "My real family." Below it, me, Leo, Elena, Priya, Ms. Rivera, and a small box labeled "Maybe Mara if she tries." I kissed her forehead. That's fair, because forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's about leaving the door cracked, just enough for change to walk through. But you don't wait by it. You build your life inside. And ours was full. 2 months later, Mara showed up at Leo's soccer game, unannounced, wearing a team jersey she'd clearly bought that morning. She cheered louder than anyone, hugged him like she hadn't missed a single practice, and posted a reel titled "Proudest Aunt Ever." But as she walked away, Leo tugged my sleeve and asked, "Why does she only come when there are cameras?" And that's when I realized her performance wasn't for us anymore. It was for everyone watching. Leo's soccer game was on a Saturday morning. Gray sky, muddy field, kids tripping over their own feet. He played midfield, all heart and zero coordination, but he never stopped running. I stood on the sideline with Elena and Priya, thermoses of coffee in hand, shouting encouragement every time he touched the ball. Then I saw her. Mara, standing alone near the snack tent, wearing a bright green jersey with "Mar1 Aunt" printed across the back. Leo's team color, his number. She hadn't been to a single practice. Didn't know his coach's name. But there she was, phone raised, recording like she'd been there all season. When Leo scored, an accidental deflection off his elbow, she sprinted onto the field, ignoring the coach's yell, and wrapped him in a hug so tight he squeaked. "My star!" she cried, turning him toward her camera. "Say hi to everyone who loves you." Leo froze, glanced at me, then mumbled, "Hi." After the game, she handed out store-bought cookies to the whole team, calling each kid by name, even though she'd never met half of them. Parents smiled, thanked her. One even said, "You're so involved." Mara beamed. "Just being the best aunt I can be." Later, as we packed up chairs, Leo tugged my sleeve. "Why does she only come when there are cameras?" I didn't have an answer that wouldn't break his heart. So I just said some people love the idea of moments more than the moments themselves. That night, her reel went live. "Watching my nephew shine, so proud to be his godmom." These are the days I live for. Aunt life, for family first, blessed. Comments poured in. "You're amazing." Goals. Real ones show up like this. I closed the app. The next day, Mara texted, "Can I take the kids to the zoo next weekend?" Just us. I almost said no, but then I remembered Nia's notebook, the little box labeled "Maybe Mara, if she tries." So I said yes, but with conditions. No photos, no social media, just them. She agreed instantly. Saturday morning, she arrived in jeans and a plain t-shirt. No branded gear, no phone in hand. She played with Leo's toy cars on the floor, helped Nia braid her doll's hair, even packed peanut-free snacks because she remembered Leo's allergy. For 3 hours, she was present. No performance, no audience. Just her, them, and the quiet hum of ordinary love. At the zoo, she held Nia's hand through the reptile house. Let Leo pick which path to take. Bought ice cream without checking if it was Instagrammable. On the drive home, Nia fell asleep in the back seat. Leo stared out the window, then asked, "Is Auntie Mara different now?" "I don't know," I said honestly. But today felt real. That night, I checked her Instagram. No posts, no stories, just silence. And for the first time in years, I let myself hope. Maybe she was learning. Maybe the performance was finally giving way to something true. But hope is fragile. And Mara had spent years treating love like content. Something to curate, not cultivate. So when I got a notification 2 days later, a photo of her at a rooftop bar, caption, "Adulting hard. Needed this after a weekend with the kiddos, Arjagger self-care, Arjagger aunt life," I didn't rage. I just felt tired. Because real love doesn't need an audience. It thrives in the quiet, in the unposted moments, in the muddy cleats left by the door. And Mara? She still hadn't learned the difference. A week later, she asked to babysit again. This time for a full week while I attended a work conference. No phone, she promised. Just us. I almost said yes, until I found the truth in Nia's backpack. A printed photo from Mara's private story, showing her posing with the kids, captioned, "My backup plan if Jess ever checks out." And beneath it, in Nia's handwriting, "Am I just a backup too?" I found the photo tucked inside Nia's spelling folder, folded twice, edges worn from being opened and closed too many times. It was a screenshot of Mara's private Instagram story, the kind only close friends see. In it, she stood in our living room, arms around Leo and Nia, both kids smiling up at her like she'd never disappeared. The caption read, "My backup plan if Jess ever checks out. These two are my heart." Beneath it, in Nia's careful cursive, written in purple marker, "Am I just a backup too?" My hands shook as I smoothed the paper, not because of the betrayal that I expected, but because my 7-year-old had internalized herself as a contingency, a safety net, not a person worthy of love for her own sake. I didn't confront Mara right away. First, I sat with Nia on the porch swing, the one that still squeaked like it did when she was a baby. "Did Auntie Mara show you this?" I asked gently. She shook her head, eyes down. "I saw it on her phone when she was charging it. She left it on the couch." "And you printed it?" I wanted to know if it was real. "It's not," I said firmly. "You're not a backup. You're my first choice, every single day." "But she said what serves her?" I interrupted softly. "Not what's true." Nia leaned into me. "Do you think she loves us, or just the idea of us?" I kissed the top of her head. "I think she loves how we make her look." That night, I called Mara, voice calm, steady. "We need to talk." We met at the park, the neutral ground where so many of our fractures had played out before. She arrived smiling, holding 2 lattes. "I brought your order." I didn't take it. "Why did you call my kids your backup plan?" Her smile faltered. "What?" "The private story. My backup plan if Jess ever checks out." "Oh," she looked away. It was a joke. It wasn't funny to Nia. She wasn't supposed to see that. But she did. And now she thinks she's replaceable. Mara's eyes filled. "I didn't mean it like that. I worry about you. You work so hard, what if you burn out? So your solution is to treat my children like emergency contacts?" "No, I love them." "Then stop using them as props," I said, voice low but firm. Love isn't a branding strategy. It's showing up when no one's watching. It's choosing them even when it's inconvenient. Even when there's no photo. She wiped her eyes. "I'm trying, Jess." Trying isn't enough when they're asking, "Am I just a backup?" Silence. Then quietly, "What do I do?" "You start by deleting that post. Then you tell Nia, face to face, that she's not a plan B. She's a person. And she deserves love that doesn't come with conditions." She nodded. "Okay." But as she walked away, I noticed something. Her phone was already out, thumb hovering over the camera app. Like even this moment, the apology, the reckoning, was content waiting to be framed. That evening, Nia asked, "Did she say sorry?" "Yes." "Did she mean it?" I thought about the phone in her hand, the instinct to perform even in pain. "I don't know, Bug. But what matters is this, you're not a backup, you never were." She hugged me tight. "Good. Because I don't want to be anyone's plan B." Later, I updated my notebook. Crossed out, maybe Mara if she tries. Wrote instead, Mara loves the role, not the responsibility. And that distinction, it changed everything. Because you can't build a family on performance, only on presence. And ours was already full, with people who showed up without needing an audience. 2 weeks later, Mara showed up at my door with red eyes and no phone in sight. "I deleted all my social media," she said. "I want to try again, just us, no cameras, no captions." She even brought handwritten letters for the kids, promising to earn their trust slowly. But as I watched her kneel to hug Leo, I saw it, the tiny ring light tucked in her purse. And I realized, some people don't know how to exist without an audience. Not even an apology. Mara stood on my porch that evening with no phone in hand, no glossy hair, no curated outfit. Just jeans, a faded sweater, and eyes raw from crying. She held 2 sealed envelopes, one pink, one blue. "I deleted everything," she said quietly. Instagram, TikTok, even Facebook. Cold turkey. I didn't invite her in, just stood in the doorway, arms crossed. "Why?" "Because I saw Nia's face when you picked her up from school last week," she said. She looked right through me, like I was already gone. And I realized I've been loving them like characters in my story, not real kids with real hearts. She held out the letters. "These are for them." No photos, no posts. Just me trying. Leo peeked around the doorframe. "Auntie Mara?" Her voice cracked. "Hey, buddy!" He ran to her, hugged her legs like he used to when he was small. She knelt, wrapped him tight, and for a moment it looked real. Then I saw it. Tucked in the side pocket of her purse. The glint of a tiny ring light. The kind influencers use for perfect selfie lighting. My stomach dropped. Even her surrender had a filter. Inside, Nia sat at the kitchen table drawing. She didn't look up when Mara came in. Just kept shading a tree with deep, dark lines. Mara sat across from her. "I wrote you a letter." Nia took it but didn't open it. "Did you mean it?" "Yes." "Then why do you still have your ring light?" Mara froze, glanced at her purse. "I forgot to take it out." "You brought it on purpose," Nia said softly. "In case you wanted to film later." Mara's face crumpled. "No, I swear." But Nia stood, pushed her chair in, and walked out of the room. Later, after Mara left, apologizing all the way to her car, I found Nia on the back porch, shredding the unopened letter into confetti. "She doesn't know how to be real," she said, voice steady. "Not even when she's sorry." I sat beside her. Do you want her in your life? I want the aunt she says she is, she said. But I don't think that person exists. And that broke me more than any lie ever could, because my child wasn't angry. She was grieving a ghost, the version of Mara who existed only in promises and captions. Over the next days, Mara texted daily, "Can I try again? I'm in therapy. I miss them." I didn't block her, but I didn't say yes. Instead, I asked Elena to host a family dinner every Sunday. Priya started teaching Leo chess. Ms. Rivera gave Nia extra piano lessons, just for fun. Our village grew, not with grand gestures, but with consistency. With showing up week after week, with no expectation of praise. Then, one rainy afternoon, Nia came to me holding a new drawing. It showed our house surrounded by figures, Elena watering plants, Priya reading on the porch, Ms. Rivera playing piano through an open window. In the center, me and Leo baking cookies. At the edge of the page, far away, a small figure stood alone under an umbrella, labeled, "Mara, still learning." No anger, no erasure, just honesty. That night, I called Mara, not to invite her over, but to say this. If you ever want to be in their lives for real, start by being invisible. No photos, no stories, no look how great I am moments. Just show up when it's boring, when it's hard, when no one claps. She was quiet for a long time. Then, okay, it wasn't a fix, but it was a beginning. Because love isn't about grand returns. It's about quiet, daily choosing. And maybe, just maybe, she was finally ready to learn. 6 months passed with no posts, no visits, no performative apologies. Then, on a Tuesday morning, Mara appeared at the school gate. No phone, no makeup, just a thermos of hot chocolate and a note. "I've been sitting in my car for 3 weeks, watching you pick them up. Today I'm asking, can I walk home with you?" And for the first time, she didn't ask for forgiveness. She just asked to be near them, without an audience. She stood at the school gate that Tuesday morning like she'd been waiting her whole life for this moment. No phone, no ring light, no branded tote bag. Just a worn coat, scuffed boots, and a thermos in her hands. "I've been sitting in my car for 3 weeks, she said quietly, voice rough from rain and restraint. "Watching you pick them up, watching them laugh, watching you be their mom." I didn't say anything, just waited. "Today," she continued, "I'm not asking to be forgiven. I'm not asking to be called auntie again. Can I walk home with you? Just once? No photos, no stories, just near them." Leo spotted her first. "Auntie Mara?" He ran over, not with the blind trust of before, but with cautious hope. She knelt, didn't hug him, just held out the thermos. Hot chocolate, extra marshmallows. "Your favorite." He took it, sipped, nodded. "Thanks." Nia hung back, arms crossed, but she didn't walk away. So we walked, the 4 of us. Down the sidewalk, past the bakery, under the old oak tree where they used to chase leaves. Mara didn't talk much, didn't pose, didn't reach for her pocket once. At our driveway, she stopped. "That's enough for today. You don't want to come in?" I asked. "No," she said softly. "Not yet, but I'll be here next Tuesday, if that's okay." I nodded. "Okay." And that was it. No grand reunion, no tearful confession. Just a woman learning, slowly, how to love without an audience. Over the next months, she showed up every Tuesday, sometimes with cookies, sometimes with nothing but silence. She never pushed, never posted, never asked for more than what was offered. One afternoon, Nia handed her a drawing, a simple sketch of 3 stick figures walking home under a rainbow. No labels, just presents. Mara cried. Quietly, then tucked it into her coat like it was sacred. 6 months later, on Leo's birthday, she brought a handmade card. Inside, she'd written, "I don't deserve to be your aunt, but I'll spend the rest of my life trying to earn it." He hugged her, not because he forgot, but because he saw her trying, and kids forgive effort when it's real. Now she comes over sometimes, helps with homework, stays for dinner. Still no social media, still no performance. And when she leaves, she doesn't look back for approval. She just goes, because she finally understands, love isn't about being seen, it's about seeing them, fully, patiently, without turning their lives into content. Last week, Nia asked me, "Do you think she'll ever go back to posting about us?" "I don't know," I said. "But if she does, we'll handle it." She nodded. "Good, because I like this version better." Me too. This version shows up muddy from soccer practice. This version remembers Leo hates carrots. This version sits in silence when Nia's sad. This version chose them, not for likes, not for legacy, but because they're worth it. And that's the only love that lasts. Hope you enjoy the story. Tell in comments in which city are you watching. In my opinion, guys, after telling this story, I keep thinking about how social media has turned love into performance, and how many children are growing up wondering if they're loved for who they are, or just for how they make someone look. Real care doesn't need an audience. It thrives in the unposted moments, the quiet dinners, the forgotten socks, the hand held in the dark. If you've ever felt like a backup plan, remember this. You were never the content. You were always the point.